Okay, so this is a 2006 C230, and today I'm going to be talking about how to wash and polish, compound polish and wax the car to protect it from sun damage, so UV, rock chips, scratches and everything like that. This is kind of like a little small car detailing video to show you just a small, tiny little percentage of what usually goes on with car detailing and some of the processes that are involved with that. I'm gonna wash the car, so I'm just gonna wash the front side of the car where the wing mirrors are, and I'm just gonna show you the fenders and everything like that. We're gonna skip wheels. So I'm gonna pull the car outside and then we will get ready with just washing the front of it. While I'm in the garage, I can show a little bit of what this car looks like. The car has a lot of rock chips in the front. It is mostly highway driven. You will find this in a lot of older cars. There's some old paint correction here that didn't get sanded down or anything like that, and it's kind of yellowed over time. That usually happens a lot whenever somebody goes to fix a paint and then they don't have any protection over it. It will tend to yellow. And then we have more paint chips here. You can see where they have kind of gotten quite bad over here on this side. Like I said, highway driving will do this to a car. It's kind of inevitable. This is a 2006. It only has 80,000 miles on it, so it's actually in pretty good condition for how old it actually is. But obviously you can always fix these. There are kits available to fixing these types of chips. I can show one here in the image that you can buy. A great one is, I believe, Dr. Chip Fix. If I have that correct, I'll fix it here. But they'll mix the paint to the factory paint that your car has, so you can fix all of these little issues, which I do plan to do in the summer. So I will hopefully keep myself busy with that. What we're going to be doing today won't be able to change that, unfortunately, but it will protect from these areas rusting. So you can see the prime coat is what the gray is, so as long as you're not seeing straight up metal, that's always a great sign. So that can be fixed. That's a great thing versus what it could be. But after those problems have been expressed, I'm going to pull the car outside just so you can see it in the sunlight. It's kind of an overcast day, but the sun seems to be coming out, so hopefully we can actually get a really nice overall image of the car. I am going to continue. I'm going to still wash the car, even though it is not terribly dirty. Whenever you polish or wax or compound any car, you always want to do the best practice, which is to clean the vehicle in the best possible way that you can, because the wax is going to seal in everything that's on the paint and keep it like that for a few months, depending on which product you may use. So I'm going to just pull this car outside really quickly and I'm going to set everything up for you. Okay, so we have the lovely lady outside now, so you can kind of see a little bit more of the paint reflection here. That is a lot of the ceramic coat and previous polishing, so it actually is in pretty good condition here. You can see some of the scratching with the sunlight. However, this camera may not pick it up because it's quite difficult to pick up scratches on white paint. I might have to grab my camera stock here because it's quite windy. But yeah, there are some scratching involved. Might be able to see a little bit of it. The sun's kind of making my car look in a lot better condition than it is right now, but not all paint is created equal. A lot of the time, white paint tends to hide scratches a lot better than cars that are black, for example. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better because it is windy outside, so hopefully the sound quality is better. But yes, not all paint is created equally. White paint tends to show scratches a lot in direct sunlight if you can catch it at an angle.
A big part of what we're doing today to the car is to help fix this swirling problem caused by mechanical washes. In this next part of the video, I'm just going to basically explain what tools you'll need to wash the car and some processes involved in doing it.
So I usually just use a regular hose attachment. You could have a pressure washer, that'd be great. I don't have one. So I'm just kind of using the regular hose attachment. Yeah, works perfectly fine if you only have this. So this could work great for somebody who just wants to wash their car at home and doesn't want to spend a lot of money on a giant pressure washer. I will bring up the buckets I'm going to be using. We're going to do the 2-bucket method. It's always great to use 2 buckets just because you can make sure that you're not bringing dirt, so the dirt that you get on your towel doesn't get on the car again when you just dunk it in the nice clean soapy water. You'd rather have a bucket to rinse the towel off so it's not getting all that extra dirt on the car to prevent scratching. We're still going to be using the 2-bucket method today, even though I am polishing the front of the car. It's just best practice. The less scratching, the better. The less you have to fix is always great, because you want to make less work for yourself in the later end process of polishing the vehicle. So I'm going to go get my 2 buckets and fill them up with water, and then I will show you the products I'll be using today. Well, my buckets are filling up with water. The 2 products I'm going to be using today to wash the car are going to be by ENAMEL. It is a really, really nice brand. I really enjoy using their products. Really high quality, a little bit expensive, but it definitely goes a really, really long way. They last a long time relative to the bottle size. You only need like a little bit. So I'm going to be using the ENAMEL Boost Winter Wash and the ENAMEL Foam Cleanser. Just get that on the screen for you. And I'm going to use both of them in the same bucket. And I do apologize for the obnoxious construction noises. There is a school being built or something next to my house, and I'm right next to a main road, so there's going to be some obnoxious noise, but I am going to, oh my god, I am going to probably cut the sound out because it's going to be really annoying, so you don't have to watch and listen to all of the annoying noises of the road. Just as I similarly am going to put on a set of headphones so I don't have to listen to that incessant beeping for the rest of the time that I am doing this. So I am going to put these 2 in my bucket. Alright, so I'm gonna get this guy. Usually it's about a cap full. I'll just do like a simple squirt. Usually could just kind of guesstimate it, but just a little bit of a good amount. You want to get enough in there to get a nice lather going. More lubrication is better. And then this is obviously just for the winter, just because we're coming out of this winter. You can obviously see there is snow on the ground. That means there's salt on the roads, and salt means rust, and salt means annoying things. So it's always great to just add a little bit of a winter wash here, just a little bit of a boost, as it's called, which is great to help salt not stick to the car as much. So less salt is better, always better. So we will now get into the washing process, and like I said, I'm just going to do from fender to fender, basically wing mirror to wing mirror, just this front end here, which is what we're going to be focusing on today since it's the most abused part of the car. Alrighty, and now that I have this set up, it's going to start getting soapy. Okay. Alright, so I usually like to wash my car with a nice brightly colored microfiber towel, just so you can see the dirt and everything like that involved with washing your car. You don't want to have a dark towel because you can't really see the dirt that you're picking up. You don't want to get dirt and continually wipe it on your car because that's just going to cause problems for you. And like I said, it's going to cause more scratching, which you have to fix later. So we want to stop and make sure that we can help ourselves in the future with using a clean, nice towel that can absorb things without scratching. So I've given the car some time to just kind of sit in the garage and kind of drip dry and everything like that. So anywhere any excess water was would just kind of drip away, so I wouldn't run into that whenever I am polishing. Right now, the paint actually looks pretty all right with the reflections are pretty good on this car, but then again, I did say it was ceramic coated and this car has been paint corrected before, so today it's just kind of more protection and like getting rid of the surface scratches that are made from the machine washes. I don't know if you can see that. There's a scratch right there, but it's like right here. You might be able to see it kind of here. This would be a scratch I might use some compound on, so I can definitely show the process of that, because this car probably doesn't need much of a compounding, maybe in these little deep scratch areas right here. And then I have some kind of paint defect that's going on right there, if you can see it. That's not something I can really fix with what I have. I think that's just something sat on the car for a very long time and kind of destroyed the paint there. So that's not something I can really fix. It's kind of like dimply. It looks like a leg after you shave it and the hair comes back. Yeah, it's a little strange. Okay, so I got a piece of tape down the middle of the hood here, so I'm gonna kind of just do a little bit of a comparison. It may not be too drastic considering, like I said earlier, this car has been paint protected and everything before, but it will help show maybe a little bit of some change here, maybe a little bit of a color change. Some cars have a little bit of yellowing that happened, and then you can see the difference on both sides. So I'm gonna do a complete compound and polish on this side, and then we'll be able to see the difference. And then overall, I'll just do it on this side, and then we'll wax the entire hood. Okay, so today I'm gonna be using this buffer machine. You can get one. These are Craftsman one. You can order them online. I do know that this one was a decent price for what you can get these for. A lot of them are pretty expensive. You can always do polishing and buffing by hand and everything like that. It just takes more time and it's a little bit more taxing on your arms and everything, but to save a little money, you can get some exercise in your arms, so it's a win-win, I guess. But this is about 9 to 10 inches pad, so this pad's best used for a hood or a roof or a door or something that's large and flat. There are other buffers that you can buy that have switchable tops. These come off and it could be a smaller pad and everything like that. So I'm just gonna do the top most areas here on the top of the hood and everything like that. So that's what's gonna be protected. But yes, so these come in conjunction with these pads here. These little pads, you can buy them off of Amazon, their website. And you'll just put the blue guy. We're gonna use these blue guys today just because they're the thinnest ones. They're just gonna help with taking off all that old junk and any extra yellowed coating that the sun has damaged. That one's very small. That one's not the right one. So we're just gonna get these guys and put them on my buffer. I can get them out. Please. Okay, there we go. This guy. These little dudes here, we're just gonna take the one out, and then this goes directly on the buffer, and then I will show just about how much you want to put on here. Today I'm gonna be using Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. So definitely a really nice product. I have used this before. A lot of my previous details have had Meguiar's detailing compound, and yeah. So the compound is always going to be the first step that you take, just because it is the most abrasive form. Basically it gets rid of all the big scratches and everything like that, like those deep scratches that I took a video of. This is kind of what you want to use for that, and then your next step will be to use a polish. I'm using all of the Meguiar's products today just because it's always great to use products in line with what they are because they work best with themselves. So this will be the next step, and then my final step will just be to protect the paint using this Meguiar's Ultimate wax just to make sure everything's kind of cohesive with each other so they work together. Okay, so usually on here you can just do like a little squirt, just enough right there in the middle. You could do a couple little dabs around just to get some edges going, but you don't really need that much. It kind of goes a long way, but I always kind of wipe it off just so I don't have any excess on my bottle here. So we're just gonna get this and then we're gonna polish the hood, and I'm just gonna set up my camera really quick so you can kind of see what I'm up to, and we'll get started. Okay. Alright, so I've compounded this side. You can already kind of see a little bit of a color difference. Just a smidge. It's just because of the yellowing from the sun. You can always have ceramic coat and all these other things, but over time, if the car is left outside, it'll definitely have some sun damage. So this side here you can see is a little bit clearer, and the paint feels much, much smoother. There's this one little bit right here that I keep seeing that I'm going to try and work down on, but otherwise everything looks pretty alright up here. So I'm just going to keep working. I'm just going to go to the next step, which is the polish. It's the exact same thing. You're going to just have this. It's just going to be another blue pad and same application, just a small amount, and then we'll be good to go and continue with that.
So while recording this clip, my camera actually died. It's similar to the same process as compounding the car. Just gonna go over the hood again and really cut down on those fine scratches. And once you polish up the car, you're just gonna wipe away the residue and then continue to cut down on any extra scratches that you see or deep cuts in the paint to polish it out and make it super shiny.
So, I finished up polishing this side. My GoPro is back from the dead. So, this side's nice and polished up. I did fix a couple little paint chips and stuff just to like kind of finish it up a little bit compared to this side over here. You look at all the paint chips and everything compared to this side. It's a little bit better now. But you can definitely see this side looks a little bit more crisp with the light edges, which is always nice to see. But I'm going to take this tape line off and then we can look at it a little bit extra in more detail. But you can definitely tell this side looks just a little bit better than this side. It's always kind of hard to bring a car that's at like, let's say 80 to 90% up to like 98% or 95% to 98%. It's always kind of hard to see that extra little bit, but it's definitely there with the paint. You can definitely see the little bit of color difference here if you just barely check there, but I'm going to take this paint line so you can see it better. I'm not sure if the camera can pick this up here, but it'll show like the smoothness of the car, and then it kind of gets a little bit more rough over here. You can kind of see the light. See how these, just pay attention to these squares, the lights in the ceiling. You can kind of see how the edges get a little bit more crunchy looking, just barely by a difference, but just enough to make it worthwhile. But still, we're gonna do this other side now, so I'm just gonna finish up this side. Can I help you? Okay, so we're just gonna finish up this side, and then I'll be able to show the whole thing. I might fix a couple of these little spots here that aren't rusted just to kind of kickstart the beginning here. But yeah, I'll definitely come back and then show the whole thing polished, compound and polished on this side, and then I'll just wax the whole car, the whole front of the hood, and then it'll be finished. Okay, it's a few hours later. I've polished the car and everything like that, so everything's been polished now. You may notice some of the rock chips are gone. I caved. I decided to do them anyway, but I didn't include them in the part of the video because that's not what this is about. But I did kind of patch up some of these chips so you can't really see them anymore. So the car looks much better than it did before. I did end up taping my emblem, which I didn't show in the video, but sometimes the emblems have a blue paint on them that can sometimes get taken off with the compound and polish. So if you do have any emblems on your car that you do not know if they'll kind of disintegrate whenever they get touched by these products, it's best to just tape them off. So I'm gonna do the final wax on the hood here, and that's all I'm gonna be doing today for this video, just because it's kind of simple. But yeah, so I'm just gonna wax the hood and then we'll be done.
Okay, for right here, I'm just gonna go over the entire part of the car where I polish and compound it. I'm gonna go over the car with a microfiber applicator and just put on my wax. Whenever you put on the wax, you're gonna want it to sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then whenever you're done with that, you're just gonna buff it right off, which I'll show in the next step here. Now I'm using a fluffy white applicator, and that's just gonna buff off all of that wax that is now cured into the paint, just to get it all off and really buff in that shine so it looks really nice. And lastly, I'm just going to take an orange microfiber towel and make sure I got off all the extra residue that the buffer missed.
But yeah, I think it looks really shiny. I like shiny cars. Can you see yourself? Oh, hello! Hi. That's a good sign. It's always really nice to see all that extra mirror level worth of paint. Looks really great. And that's the process in which you do it. So anything extra is always just an extra thing. It's never hurts to do a little bit more. And for a car that's about 17 years old, that's daily driven on the highway, I think it looks pretty good. But yeah, that's about it. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope this was educational. Thank you.